The format for this meeting is a 10-minute speaker, our secretary's announcements, a coffee break, and a snack break, and our main speaker. Our first speaker tonight is Damon.
Good evening. My name is Damon, and I am an alcoholic. Thank you. 10-minute speaker. I love it. So real brief, what it was like, what happened, and what it's like today. So what it was like, grew up in a family of alcoholics, but didn't really know what alcoholism was. Just knew that my family liked to drink. So, I just thought that was normal. But it didn't take long to find out that, maybe I might have suffered. I think I had my first drink when I was about 5. Snuck up on my grandmother's beer sitting on the ground, and while she wasn't looking, took a sip of it, just rambling kid, and found myself asleep, and, but that feeling, that feeling that they talk about, I at a very young age, I could remember that feeling, what it was like when I had that beer. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I've been drinking since I was 5, but that was my first drink. I did get in a lot of trouble when they found that smell of beer on my breath, so I'm going to tell you that that was probably my last drink until I was about 14. And, I kind of knew early on, or I should have known early on, that I wasn't a successful drinker. My first, as a teenager, that drink with a bunch of friends at a friend's house, Jack Daniels, passed out, woke up to a mess, let's just say. I'm not going to take you there, but that first drink was a blackout, and I should have had an idea that, that probably wasn't a good idea for me to do. But, of course, I had to have my own experiences. Grew up in a happy home, grandfather, grandmother. My mother passed when I was young, but still had the family unit, and went to good schools. Thought that, would have led me into the right direction, but obviously I chose my own path. And so that kind of leads me to what happened. So what happened, unsuccessful at drinking, had many a blackout, many a run-in with the law behind my behavior that came about with drinking. And that still wasn't enough to stop me. I continued to drink, continued to do things that probably wasn't the best idea for me as a youth, but I had to have my own experiences. And so those instances eventually led to jail. How they say jails, institutions, and death. I've seen the first 2. Thank God, haven't seen the last one. But it was really like that. Like, it was a lot of where I thought that I was the life of the party, but it turned out I was the death of the party. I don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but so it was a lot of that unsuccessfulness. Eventually, it led to my first stint in treatment, which, by this time I had now introduced other substances to the drinking. And obviously we know that those don't go together well, and I don't think we'd be here on a Saturday night if it did. But, my first stint in treatment, I was really shell-shocked. I was in an area that I was uncomfortable with, but it was the only place I had to go. Like, my family had disowned me. They didn't want anything to do with me, so this was really the last house on the block, as they say. So I actually went through it, got into the work, and it got a sponsor, was working the steps, thought I was, cured. Thought I was. So yeah, this was early 2000, like 2004. I stayed sober for about 2 years. And within that time, my sponsor had went away. I kind of, stopped following the instructions that were given, stopped going to meetings, things of that nature, thinking I had it. And eventually, that led to a relapse. And about 2 years in, yeah, I relapsed. And so stayed out for a little while. I acknowledge the time. Thank you. Stayed out for a little while, and for like those next maybe 5 years, it just progressively got worse, And again, I didn't start right away going heavy, but by the time it ended again, it took 2 cars, an apartment, 2 jobs, a girlfriend, actually a wife. Let me rephrase that. And, here I am again, back in treatment. But this time it was kind of one of those eye openers to where it was like it got really bad, And so I really kind of took a look at what could happen or what, was about to happen. So this time I actually, sat in the front row, closed my mouth, opened my ears, as they say, and, got right back into it. Things have been good. What it's like today. Things have been good. I work in treatment. I also work helping the unhoused get housed. A lot of work that I do really kind of gives me that give back feeling, you know what I mean? And I think I got into that for the sake of what I went through. And so that has been able to hold me, and by the grace of God, what's today, the 10th? In about 4 days, I will have 13 years sober. And yeah, I clap too because I never, that wasn't the plan. But, it just that unsuccessful, that inability to cope, that inability to deal with life on life's terms, it kind of got me to really sit still and listen. And so that's just kind of what I did, and just, taking care of self in the work. Back with the sponsor, I kind of had a little brief stint there without one. I don't suggest you do that. If you get one, stick with the one, but I was a little hard-headed. So I recently just got back into a little workshop, but I also have a sponsor that we're working, directly with. So that is one thing that I do suggest if you guys are newer than me. Find you somebody that you trust, that you can talk to about what it is you're going through. Get into the work. Like the gentleman read about the steps, I mean, it really is the program. And beyond that, the next step will be working with someone. Haven't got to that point yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I was asked to come out by a buddy of mine, and I do appreciate him asking. I haven't spoken in a while, and so this was kind of like a good feeling to be able to do. But yeah, other than that, really just being mindful at what I say and how I treat people today, because that ultimately comes back to you, you know what I mean? Like, you put out good energy, I really believe you get good energy back. And so that's just kind of what I try to maintain. And yeah, with that, thank you for letting me share.
I think. Sorry, I'll let you go. Great.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now our main speaker will share his experience, strength, and hope with us. Please join me in welcoming Jermaine T. from LA.
Water? Oh no. Is that what that is? It's kind of cool. Oh, thank you. My name is Jermaine. I'm a recovered alcoholic. What's going on, man? If you're new, welcome. I think 60 days, 60 and under. People that's 60 days and under. Not to embarrass you. I want to know who's in here, that's all. Who's a year and under? A year and under. Oh, let's do this. Let's do this. All right, so here's the deal, man. My name is Jermaine, right? And I'm a recovered alcoholic, right? And that's just fancy jargon to let you know that I've gone through a 12-step experience that's revolutionized a lot about me and who I am in my own existence. And as a result, the desire to drink has been expelled, right? It wasn't like I walked into these spaces yo, I need help, I gotta stop drinking. That's not how I got here, right? It was the arrest. My life was unmanageable, right? It's something that we don't speak to a lot in AA. My life was truly unmanageable. That is what got me here. It wasn't the drinking. I don't get DUIs. I don't get put in the drunk tank, right? I don't get drunk in public. I drink and I party hard, right? And then I black out sometimes and I don't know what happened and I do it again, right? Because that's the abnormal way that becomes normal. I don't come from trauma, right? I do, but it's parents whipped ass back in the day. That's what happened with me. But I don't come from abuse, right? I cannot blame my alcoholism on the dynamic of my household because that's not the reality, right? I had a first drink when I was very young. I was a wee lad, you know what I mean? And it was Old English 800, right? That stuff is so terrible. Oh my God. Let me tell you, the first time I sipped beer, I was oh my God, this stuff, it stinks. Oh, what is it? Is it vegan? I don't know. But I did not like the effect produced. And what's even more interesting is, as a little boy, right, conceptually, intuitively, I knew that was beer, but I've never had an experience with it. Does that make sense? Intuitively, I'm watching the older people drink and party, and I'm oh, that's beer. But I've never had an experience with it yet. That's interesting, if you're like me. Because alcohol is not my problem. According to the 12-step message, alcohol is really my solution. Now, I know it tears my life apart more, but I don't have the ability to not drink when I get here to Alcoholics Anonymous. Does that make sense? So respectfully, telling a guy like me to put the plug in the jug, oh, no. That message does not hold me here. Because I need the effect produced by something other than sitting in my own skin sober. Because I have alcoholism. And that is the catalyst to all of my relapses. Whether I have a sponsor, whether I have a home group, whether I'm in AA or not. Alcoholism is me sober, and that is the catalyst to all of my relapses. So when I get here, I don't understand that. I don't understand this when I get here because I see what you people do. I hear the plethora of slogans, and I'm following you guys like I'm just like a robot, right? But I don't understand that what's really, really my problem. This is why sponsorship is so important in this fellowship because I could not have gotten this thing had I not gotten a sponsor. I get to treatment, man. I'm adult, legit. I'm super adult mode, right? I get to treatment, I'm pushing 30. First time ever in treatment. And it was a weird space because I'm yo, everybody there sucked, right? Because I carry resentment. I don't know about you guys, right? And the big book ironically says it's the number one offender for a guy like me, right? Because resentment's like, I drink behind that type of stuff. Like the sun comes up, I'm drinking. You know what I mean? It's nighttime, let's party. You know what I mean? Like, it could be a quinceañera down the street somewhere and I hear music. You know what I'm saying? Let's drink, right? Like, it's Fish Fridays and all of a sudden I get thirsty. You know what I'm saying? I see like a billboard, Coors Right, tapping to the Rockies. I'm like, I need cognac, not beer, right? So like, everything is a trigger. Everything is a trigger. Because I don't even know what's going on with me. But something happens, right, when I drink alcohol. Oh my God. It does a lot for me before it starts doing stuff to me. So my true plight is that I can't drink alcohol when I get here, obviously, by default. But I cannot do life sober. Step one is a powerful step to understand. Because I'm not powerless over cognac. Like, it doesn't jump in an Uber and come to my house. Right? Like, no, real talk. Like, I don't leave an AA meeting and beers out there, like, ready to beat me up, right? Like, drink me, I'm gonna beat you down. Like, it's not happening like that. I wish it would, because I would drink. You know what I'm saying? Because I love the effect produced by alcohol. Like, I become like a ladies' man, dude. Like, I dance off liquor. Like, it gets weird, but I have fun, right? Like, I was a kid I was always shy, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, high school, we go to the high school dances. I wouldn't talk to girls, right? Unless the punch was spiked. Then I got on the wall somewhere, like, hey, what's happening with you? How you doing today? Like, no. See, alcohol really is my friend. So if you knew, please find out what's really going on around here, man. You can get lost in this ill message AA is promoting around here. You can get really lost in AA, man. Don't let that happen to you. Because I got friends that come here and like they think they're like, the book says, it says, trying to prove themselves an exception to the rule, therefore non-alcoholic. And they come here with all these circumstances and conditions, and they sound well from the podium, they even get a commitment, don't work these steps, and pew, get picked off, relapse. Come back resentful. Oh, AA doesn't work. Well, have you given AA a true try? Because AA actually is this. It's not the meetings. Like, learn the history. AA, like, meetings happened first. Don't get it twisted. The book came later, but AA is the actual book, which named our fellowship. It's so ironic, right? It's weird how it happened, right? All these drunks wanted to get sober, through this movement called the Oxfords, right? And then they took so many things from the Oxfords, dumped it into AA. We're going to call it, we're a group. We're a society. They were nameless. Then they produced a book called Alcoholics Anonymous. And the people said, oh, you're going to AA because they had something tangible to understand what we're suffering from. So when I speak to AA, I mean the process, not the meetings. Follow what I'm saying? Because it's this. And if this didn't work for me, I would not be here on a Saturday night. You know what I could be doing right now? Like, that's your imagination. But the truth is, man, I have a debt that I can never repay due to the process of Alcoholics Anonymous. Because when I get to treatment, I don't understand what got me there. I'm like, it's like that DA. That DA was racist. I knew that. And that judge and DA are like, that judge and DA play golf on their off days and talk about my case because I'm just that important to the world, right? You know what I mean? Like, I come here with a lot of excuses and a big blame thrower. But the truth was that I made a lot of decisions based on self. See, the book says selfishness and self-centeredness is the root of all my troubles. It's not the alcohol. I'm either thinking about me, I'm afraid of me, I don't want to get to know me. It's all about me when I get here, man. And I'm in treatment running around, man, like a Tasmanian devil, man, just like causing problems. And, I'm triangulating people and manipulating, and I'm just working. Hey, man, listen, some defects don't die because we're sober. Thank God for the process. But I show up to treatment, and Jermaine shows up, right? And I'm getting written up, and I'm like, oh, my God, and oh. I'm just causing all this ruckus, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, me, po, me, but they were saying the craziest stuff. Like, look, dude, like, if you live here on the compound, you should never be late to groups. And I'm like, yo, that makes sense, right? I'm like, I'm almost 30 years old, man. I didn't know how to live. I didn't know how to live, man. Like, it's crazy to say this, but this is my truth. I was in treatment. Has anybody ever gone through treatment? Oh, my God. Okay. Yo, this tore me up, yo. Look, I swear, it just tore me up. Like, I'm in treatment, and I have this epiphany, right? And I'm sitting here, and there was a lady, oh, my God, she's a member, so I'll keep her anonymous because I love traditions. That's important. She's a member, so I'm going to keep her anonymous, right? It's our 12th tradition. When we come assimilate, we honor traditions, right? But she would call me her Johnny-come-lately, right? And I'm sitting in treatment, and, like, I'm just like, yo, treatment sucks. Oh, my God, the food is terrible. Like, that's donated. And, oh, my God, have you seen the clothes donation bin? Like, who wants to wear these clothes? And, like, all this frivolous nothingness, right? And she's like, well, Jermaine, like, if treatment is not suitable for you and the food is not the taste you require, she's like, why are you here? Why are you here, Jermaine? And, like, for 3 days, I literally tried to come shut her down with, like, one of those, like, checkmate responses. For 3 days, I tried it in my mind. I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask her this. She's going to say this, and I'm going to come with that and close her off, right? And, like, that third day, like, the truth was I understood I needed some help. But I didn't know what kind of help. So for the people who've gone through or who might be currently in treatment or sober living, did anybody send you an invitation and say, hey, come check us out? Did anybody get an invitation in the mail? Okay, so find out what got you here. Find out what got you here. Step one is so powerful if you can understand its fullness. My life is unmanageable based on decisions I make about myself. And I'm not powerless over alcohol. I am powerless over my decision to drink alcohol. That is my conundrum. I'm sneaking alcohol in treatment, man. Like, fresh from, like, being released from custody. I'm not even 28 hours from jail. And I'm, like, showing up with, like, a fifth of, like, Remy Martin, right? I don't understand the condition I am suffering from. All I know is I'm going to treatment and we're going to have fun. That's all my mind can conceive. Forget the fact that it's parents and they're trying to get their kids back through the courts. Forget the fact people are on parole and probation. Forget the fact people cannot stop using mind-altering substances other than alcohol. Forget that. Like, my mind can't even think about that. I'm like, let's party on Wayne, party on Garth. That's all I know. And so I'm having these experiences in treatment, man, and it's this thing called H&I. It might sound unfamiliar to some of y'all. We'll talk about it later. H&I is a very, 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 very special element of our fellowships because that's where I was able to be presented a message. And it wasn't like, just don't drink. That's not what they said. They say, if you don't do this, you're going to die. That's what I heard. They say, if you drink how I drink, if you do other things like we do other things, like, you're going to do that and probably die. Because this is life or death. People came in and they understood the severity of my condition. And I was like, oh, they're lying, right? Not me. Like, I had all my teeth in when I was in treatment, right? I'm like, dude, I'm still healthy. I drink with my pinky in the air. What you mean? I fight harder when I can't see, when I'm drunk, right? Just delusional, man. Like, delusional. I get a sponsor by accident. You know what I mean? This guy was like, I was like, thank you for coming out, man. Like, right? Thank you for coming out. There's magic in that stuff, I swear. And I was trying to get a sponsor so I can take passes. Let's keep it honest, right? That was the conditions of treatment. Get a sponsor and take weekend passes. So I'm trying to, figure out this stuff. And I'm like, thank you, sponsor, dude. And he's, no, thank you, speaker. It was an H&I panel, like 4 men. And he was like, oh, you're welcome. He turned around to walk away. He said, wait a minute, you got a sponsor? And I'm like, see, because I like the program here, like, you got to get a sponsor and stuff. He said, no. Do you have a sponsor? And I was like, not really. Take my number down. Right? Like, I know I look young. I've been sober for a little bit of time. But I come from a space back there in time where, like, sponsors, like, snatch you up. Right? Like, they wouldn't let you really come to the mic and share much. Have you not had some kind of experience with the 12 steps, right? Like, they did, and it wasn't to divide the room. This thing is serious. right? We have fun in these spaces, but this thing is serious. And so I get this sponsor, and like we start working these steps, and I'm literally in treatment still working the steps, right? And people in treatment were saying the craziest stuff, like your recovery begins when you leave from here. And it's like, nah, people was bringing drugs and alcohol in treatment. Like, no. The big book says that, that recovery begins when one person shares their experience, strength, and hope with another. That's when recovery begins, right? Either someone's doing a step 1 or someone's doing the step 12 or somewhere in between there, right? That's what happened for me. So sponsor, man, like he would meet with me. We would start working these steps. And then step 1 was like crazy, right? Because like I didn't know what that meant. This is my first time in treatment ever. I'm an adult. I think that I'm well, right? I'm delusional. And somehow he was able to connect, right, to the inner part of self, right? And he didn't say, like, believe this or you're going to drink. Like, we just read the big book, and he would just give me assignments, and he would ask me questions. Because I got to go deep down within myself to get the truth. Like, my sponsor's truth don't keep me sober. My sponsor's sobriety time doesn't keep me sober. Matter of fact, my sponsor's, like, commitment doesn't keep me sober, right? There's things that I have to engage in. There's some things I have to do. The big book calls this thing a program of action. And it's not just going to meetings, man. Like, I got to delve into what's really going on with me. Because I can come and I can hold on to commitment and do no work on myself. They call that, like, sobriety. That's an AA term, 12 and 12 stuff. Sobriety. I can spin around here for months and years and work no step and just be dry. And there's nothing wrong with that if you can pull it off, right? If anybody do anything like a what about face, our hats are off to you, man. Like, I don't condemn it, but I got a little severe condition in most people, right? Because it centers in my mind. The main problem of the alcoholic centers in his thinking. And this is why this thing is so critical. Because if I rest on my laurels, which are my accomplishments, my accolades in treatment, taking weekend passes, I might get loaded again before I know it. I have to understand what's going on. And there was people in AA, especially my sponsor, man, it was like, he was a blessing. His deportment, really, man, he was ex-military, he was a veteran, the way he spoke at people, and he wasn't disrespectful, but he spoke with like this brimming confidence. Because I was running through treatment with like I had this high pride, but I had low self-esteem, man. I didn't know who Jermaine was. I just honestly didn't. I can tell you stuff about me kind of around what I do, but I couldn't tell you who I was because my mind would tell me that if I give you some information, you're going to use that against me to weaponize me somewhere in the future. Don't know when. Don't know you from a bowl of cereal. But my mind tells me stuff like this, so then I isolate, and now I'm just blocked off from help. This is part of my alcoholism. And this is why I stay so shallow and sick and, and apart, from being present. But step 1 for me was very profound, man. We read Bill's story. He was like, yo, did you think like Bill? Did you drink like Bill? Did you do anything that Bill did? And I'm like, hold on. Why this dude talking about some stocks and bonds in the market? I don't get down with that stuff. Like, what? I like Tupac. I like guns and violence. I like rap music, not stocks and bonds, right? I like Monopoly, not stocks and bonds, right? But I was able to connect with Bill's story. And he says, I nearly failed my law course. And I scratched out law course and I put high school. I got stoned like 2 days for graduation. We're doing like our senior rehearsal for graduation ceremonies and all this other ritual stuff. And like the homies are like, yo, you want, like, we're on break. You want to hit this corner? And I'm like, yes, I do. You know what I mean? Like, and we leave and we smoked a gang of weed. I came back. I was like high as 10 kites and I almost got expelled. So I was able to connect with some of the decisions that Bill made or some of his unsuccessful attempts at living life. Helped me see the unmanageability. I'm like, yo, Bill and I have something in common. He's a cool kind of guy. He's like me. But that's not what I said in the beginning. In the beginning, I said, how can this book, written by people that don't come from my demographic, in their 30s? My mom wasn't even born yet. Like, how can this book save me? Like, I've tried the church thing. No. Look, church is fine if it works for you. But I was like using like religion to condemn people. Like, you're going to hell. What do you believe in? Oh, you're going to hell. I'm saved. And that didn't stop me from drinking. It just didn't. And I was faithful with the church thing. It didn't work for me. So when I got here, man, I had to have a huge upheaval the book talks about. A huge rearrangement and displacement of my attitudes and emotions, right? And let some new set of concepts dominate me. We call it the spiritual awakening, if you will, appendix 2. That had to happen to me. And I can't tell you that I came in here was like, yo, I'm going to get sober and I'm going to do this and this and I'm going to just be like in Zen. Like, that's not what happened. Like, as I continue to work the steps with my sponsor, Jermaine began to change. I don't know when it happened. But once I like seeing like the hopelessness of my condition, I'm like, yo, like no, I don't want this. I saw an alcoholic death, which is like, you know, me like doing this thing to the bitter end, as Dr. Suki puts it, to the gates of death or insanity, or I seen a life sentence in prison. When I seen my true condition, that was my only two outcomes. And I took a gamble. I'm a risk taker, naturally. I'm full of resistance. But I said, dang, it's either those two things or what is there? And you people told me the only thing I have other than that is to work these steps. You people promised me that if I work these steps, that something will happen to me, that I will stay well in terms of relapse at least, right? That happened to me. My second step, man, was like, I didn't seek God in step 2. I was like looking for reasons why I need to be restored to sanity. So once I saw my true conduct sober, before I take a drink, right, I got some crazy, ill, weird conduct. Like, I do weird stuff. I don't know about y'all. Like, I store paraphernalia. I keep it close at hand, even when I'm not drinking or doing other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some friends, right? Like, I had a homeboy, man. Look, I know this is AA, so I'm going to keep it clean. But, like, I had a homeboy, right? And, like, he had this weird eye-twitching thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, was that, like, Ren and Stimpy? Like, no, real talk. He had this weird eye-twitch thing. And, like, we were, like, man, we would chill. Like, you know, he would drink beer. We would, you know, do, you know, a little blaze, little tree. And he'll be like, yo, you know what's good? What we should do? I'm like, what, bro? Like, we're chilling and we're partying, bro. He's like, we should smoke out of an apple. And I'm like, yeah, we should, right? And then, like, some more time would go by, and then my for AA and for anonymity, call him Blinky. So Blinky would come through, and then, like, eye twitching and stuff like that. It was so weird, I swear. And, like, we're, like, doing our thing, and he's like, yo, you know what'd be cool? And I'm like, what, bro? He's like, if we smoke out of a soda can. I'm like, yo, we should, right? So in my second step, I'm looking at the subtle insanity, right? He went off into some hardcore stuff, right? I got saved, you know what I mean? But it's like, I'm looking at the subtle insanity of what's really happening. Like, I think I have morale and I have like these parameters on how I drink, but I don't. You know what I mean? And it gets weird at times, and we do weird stuff, you know, when drinking, you know what I mean? Blackout, razor at times. I don't know where that stems from. You know what I mean? People telling me, hey, remember last night when this happened? And I'm like, no, I honestly don't. Like, I couldn't recall that. You know what I'm saying? Not bragging about that, but that's at times with the experience that comes with drinking, you know? So step 2, like, yes, I need to be restored to sanity. You know what I mean? Like, I had an opportunity when I was young. Well, truthfully, I got into trouble. And I told myself, you know what? I'm going to solve this. Right? Did I tell you I'm a boy genius? Did I tell you guys that? Like, my name is Jermaine. I'm a boy genius. And I think I'm like MacGyver Jr. And I can solve anything. So I got into some trouble when I was young. And I promise you, right? So I went and joined the service, right? And like literally, it was like, it came down to like, for some of y'all young, we had VCRs back in the day. Yeah. And the service will give you a VHS, right? And you put in the VCR and press play. And depending on how old it was, you got to fix the tracking on it, right? But like, I watched this video and I read the pamphlet, and it was legit. It was like, go to the service or stay back with my friends and party. And let me tell you, the insane idea actually won. I'm talking about young. Like, yeah, it was like, who wants to go to the service? And like, I'm like, who is Uncle Sam? Like, how is he my uncle? What does he look like? Like, no, I'm going to stay here and party and drink. You know what I'm saying? That came with a slew of consequences. That was what? That was 1998, 99 when I joined. I had a ship date coming in E3 enlisted. I've never touched ground on military soil. Right? That's alcoholism. I was sober when I made that decision. And I wish I would have had a crystal ball to say that, Jermaine, if you don't go to the service, your life's going to get worse. Never saw it coming. Because I don't think that I have a problem. That's alcoholism at its finest. You know what I mean? So step 3 came about with my sponsor. And the big book is just prayer, which is cool. That was easy. You know what I mean? But I saw that even like under my sponsor's direction, man, like I don't have volition over how I behave. That became interesting because I was trying to walk a better path. You know, I'm telling people in treatment, yeah, I got a sponsor. You got a sponsor? I got one. You know what I mean? 12 steps, homie. You know what I mean? All this is BS, right? This self just seeping all in treatment, man. But real talk, man. I had an experience while I was in sober living, man, and it was crazy because like sponsor was just like, yo, get up in the morning, do your third step prayer, and go on the course of your day, and like let everything happen as it is, and kind of like process from there. And like I was getting up, and I promise you, I was praying, man. I was getting up and I was praying. Getting up in the morning, I'm praying. Get up in the morning, third step prayer. Get up in the morning, I gotta pee, and I got homeboy over here like manscaping. I don't know what he's doing in the bathroom, right? It's sober living, right? And like I gotta like go. I can't just like hold it and like pray. Like I have to really, really go, and that it's overwhelming, right? Like, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to pee on this door if he don't hurry up, right? Like, and I'm in the bed rocking, like literally in my bed rocking because I have to go, right? And like today we don't urinate in alleys because that's illegal. It's against the law, right? Like, thank you. Now I know that. But it's like, so like homeboy comes out and like I just dart in the bathroom. Now I'm under my sponsor's direction. Step 3, right? Just prayer. And like I rush in the bathroom, and when I go, I see like urine on the toilet and on the floor. And I'm like, dude, I like blew a fuse. And I'm like, yo, no, everybody wake up. No, hey, blah, blah, blah. Right? And something said, fool, your sponsor told you to get up in the morning and just pray. And you're causing this ruckus, this uproar. And I stopped right in the middle of that experience like, oh my. Like, I need a little bit more work to do on myself. Right? Because an alcoholic in his cups is an unlovely creature, man. And when you take alcohol from a guy like me, woo, I'm suffering. Because now I got to feel emotions. Now I got to deal with rejection, right? Now I got to actually live in my own, sit with my own fears, right? Now my mind won't stop talking to me, right? Now it's like, go out here and like, what? Like, oh my God, put in a job application? Oh my God, what do you mean? Like, me do that? Oh, that's overwhelming, right? Now I got to like do the like adult stuff. So this is what happened in the 12th step. I was able to see where Jermaine needed areas to improve. And it's not like it was an overnight matter, man. Like, I've been sober for a couple of summers now, man. And like, look, I'm still doing work on myself. Like, if I ever think that I'm just so well around here, I'm cured, I'm headed for trouble. I can tell you that chances are, because of this, I might not drink ever again, but I can go insane in these rooms. I've seen what that's like, and that's not pretty. That's not pretty, man. It isn't. It isn't, man. I've seen people with time. I'm like, oh my God, is that how you behave? Oh, I don't want that. No. I'm not judging. I just know what I don't want today. That's right. Because something happens here, right? I do an inventory. And I always talk about my first inventory because it was so powerful. I'm talking about, look, this is what the book says. It says, for us, drinking is a symptom. It doesn't say it's my problem, right? And I always use the analogy of during the height of 2019, going to 2020 was a COVID situation, right? And when you ever go get screened, they ask you, what are your symptoms? And based on your symptoms, they say, oh, based on A, B, C, D, you have COVID, correct? The same with alcoholism. So you got to get a sponsor to go through the book to understand what are your true symptoms, right? Because it's not just I'm an alcoholic. It's like I have alcoholism, which made me become an alcoholic because I drank like it was like leisurely into a habit I couldn't break. In the beginning, I can put the plug in the jug, right? I could in the beginning. Something happened. It progressed, right? And it wasn't like mom just spit me out the womb and said, Jermaine, welcome to the world. Oh, you're an alcoholic baby now. Like, that's not how it happened, man. Because I was young when I had my first drink, Damon, and it was years before I had that second drink. But something happened up in here, man. But when I do this inventory, I'm looking at just 3 areas of my life: resentment, fear, and my sex conduct. And for me, with those 3, I can connect that to almost anything else: finances, relationships, parenting. When I'm out here in the community, right? Because that's tied into my resentments. Like I resent long lines at Walmart. You know what I mean? I resent any kind of authority. Like it's like security officers, law enforcement. You know what I mean? Parking enforcement. Oh, I had a thing with them. It was terrible. You know what I mean? Street sweeper, you know what I'm saying? Because I get tickets from that if I don't, you know what I mean? It's crazy. I saw that, man, I harbor resentment. I hold on to that thing like it's a life jacket. Stuff since I was young. I'm like, oh my God, I'm writing inventory and all these experiences are cropping up. And it's not like I remember a lot of them. They came into my memory. They came into my consciousness, right? Because it's a spiritual thing here. I tapped into a spiritual realm where it was stuff just being brought to me in its own time. And I'm like, oh, and it made my inventory extra long. It was my first inventory was like this, man. It was a lot going on. And I was just like, Jermaine, you're petty. I'm petty. Real talk, man. I'm talking about I'm so petty, I can be so petty, right? I'm both. But what's your name, sir? Ryan, that's right. We met outside. Pleasure again. So now Ryan, if you do me a solid, I'm good looking out, homie. Right? But let me do you a solid though. I'm hey, Ryan, I looked out for you, dog. Remember that? Hey, Damon. Ryan, that's my guy. As a matter of fact, I hooked him up with blah, 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 right? Because I need the accolades. I need validation. I didn't know this about myself. I need it. And I look, this is the crazy part about it. This is the subtle insanity of alcoholism. I didn't know I need validation because how I present that in conversation to people, because I'm very gifted with speech, right? And I will present this this conversation to where it's I will make sure you validate me before you recognize you've done it. That's how skillful I can get with it, man. Because I'm a manipulator. And I'm very good at it, even in sobriety. Long-term sobriety. I got double-digit sobriety. I'm a great manipulator. And I ain't bragging about that. That's why I'm still in this program, right? Because Jermaine still needs to improve on his conduct, right? Look, is anybody in here not sober? Let's keep it 100. Is anybody in here you're just fresh off the bottle or something? Okay, so for the newer people who's a year and under, getting sober may not be your problem. Getting sober may not be your problem. How do you remain sober? That's what this is for. Because when I asked for a sponsor, I got a sponsor. I was sober as a gopher. This allowed me to maintain sobriety. The guy who's tried to sneak Martin cognac into treatment. This allowed me to maintain the sobriety. This is why I advocate this. And as a result, my life gets more and more and more and more manageable as time passes. Having had a spiritual awakening. We just try to carry the messages around here, man, right? But I read this inventory, you know what I'm saying? And it's it was powerful because I really saw why my life had its destination in real time. It was Jermaine. When I wrote that first inventory, it was honest and thorough from the beginning. It was a fearless moral inventory. It was I saw who Jermaine really was for the first time ever. Without delusion, without blaming others. I saw the truth about me, and I was this needs to change. That was a poor example of me, but I couldn't shake it anymore. Right? They call it in the book, it's a fact-finding and a fact-facing process. I had to face the facts. This is not working for you, Jermaine, because look what's happened to your life as a direct result. I was sponsor, I need help. I need help. And I was so convinced with this process and so engaged, it wasn't about drinking anymore. It was like, I need to be a better human being. Like, I just didn't want to get arrested anymore. Like, I just wanted to be a father, like an actual father, not just in conversation or like on birthdays. I want to be a son of my mother that I know I could be. I want to stop having her worry about her baby boy, right? Like, things in the forefront for me, it was pivotal, man. I'm like, something has to change. And so I wrote this inventory. I read it. I do 6 and 7. I go to this man's house. I end up, here's a quick fun fact I don't tell people a lot. Like that very first, like, long inventory, like, I had wrote so much inventory. I was like, man, I'm cool on this, right? And then, like, a year that went by. And sponsor man was like, man, you ain't done with that inventory yet. And I was like, man, like, because the home group became more important. Listen, new people. The home group became more important. Going to school became more important. The commitment became more important than writing inventory, right? Shopping became more important. Being seen as a sober events became more important. And that sponsor said, check this out, man. You got to find you a new sponsor. Don't balk. Don't balk. Because the big book in step 5 talks about that's where most people get loaded in that 5th step. Because they thought that they were honest. They thought that they knew humility as they needed to be humbled. Nah, man. Maybe you have, maybe not. I don't know. But when he told me how to find a new sponsor, I was torn to pieces. Because I had founded a new relationship with this man, right? And what happens with that comes expectations. Thank God for inventory. That tore me up. And I was resentful. I was running the meetings, talking about it, and just omitting his name. Somebody said, hey, man, you got to get a sponsor, bro. What's going on with you? Like, you tripping. And I was like, I sat with that. Like, you know what? He was just, like, maybe just, I don't know. I got a new sponsor, man. Started over from the beginning. Didn't even relapse. And I went to this man's house over here in Culver City, and I read inventory, and, man, I cried like a baby, man. Because I had to get free from the bondage itself. Right? There's a lot of bondage that I was, man, the stuff that I had here, it kept me like in my own prison in my head. And I didn't realize that till I did the inventory. I had all these fixed beliefs and these constructs in my head, like I'm Tupac Jr. or something. It's like, dude, like, you're tripping, bro. Like, you're not untouchable. Like, you're just an afraid boy. You don't know who you are as a man. So I wrote the inventory. Matter of fact, I wrote another inventory, and I read it to the sponsor, and I cried, man, and I got free, man. And it was weird because I was, like, sharing certain things, and he was like, oh, you too. He was like, oh, yeah, Jermaine, I've done that. And so what he was doing was he was connecting me, right, to the fact that, Jermaine, it's not just you. One of the most powerful things I heard in these spaces is you do not have to do this thing alone. This is the we program. It says we of Alcoholics Anonymous when you first open the book. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And so I stopped being so guarded, and I kind of start being kind of a little open to people, man. Because some folks they wanted to help me genuinely. And I had to learn how to start running on alcoholism, and I had to start working the program, right? Something I heard when I was new, man, is one of my favorite lines that I don't hear often in these spaces that they told me that they said, Jermaine, you probably cannot think your way into to better living, but you can live your way into better thinking. And that's the program in a nutshell. I act my way into better thinking. When I think better on a higher plane, I make better decisions. My life is not in chaos and shambles, and people are happy and peaceful. For me, at least. Because I destroy homes, man. I don't know about you guys, right? And them 9 steps, 9 steps are powerful experiences, man. Like I honestly can't even share certain 9-step stories without even crying, because they've been that powerful and impactful. You know what I mean? Like when I'm calling people and I'm calling women and I'm like, yo, we gotta have this conversation, right? And it's not like for you newer people, like I don't go say, hey, I'm sorry, like I just effed you over. Like no, I don't even tell them to send amends. Like I don't need in the chin at all. I'm like, check this out. How you doing? It's been a long time. I know. Boom, boom, boom. I need to speak with you when you get a chance. It's very urgent. Let me know whenever you're ready to have a conversation. People respond well to that. But if I'm like, I gotta talk to you because I owe you an amends, like I'm probably gonna uproot some trauma. If you're like me, because I got alcoholism and like I I harm people emotionally, financially, sometimes physically. I hurt people, and I ain't bragging about that. So the ninth step for me is very important because I'm trying to, the book says, sweep debris away from my side of the street, right? I got to make sure. And what's interesting in the ninth step people don't talk about is that they tell me it's a life or death errand, and they tell me, like, you're probably going to lose your reputation. You're going to get probably, like, put in jail. It's okay. Don't trip. Don't trip. And if you've done some things I've done, you might deserve that. I don't know. But I go into step 9, understanding that I'm going to probably, can't save face. Some things I've done, I might have to do a little time behind that, but I remain willing anyway. Because it's not really about me when I get here and work this process. It's about me becoming a conduit for somebody else to recover. That's the duality of why we work the steps. I can't transmit something I haven't got. I can't come in here, excuse me, I can do that, but it's counterproductive and counterintuitive. To come here, to not work steps, but say work steps, that's counterintuitive, right? It's hypocritical, right? It's BS, right? But for those of us who've had this experience, like I'm one of them. Is that a high five?
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Oh, I thought your hand was hurting. You wanted the Band-Aid. I'm teasing you. But it's counterintuitive, right? Respectfully, if you don't work steps, that's fine. You can not work steps and be a member of AA. I'm clear. I've written inventory on that. I promise you, I don't resent you anymore. I'm free from that. But if you have worked these steps and if you have had these experiences, right? This is why we're here, to help you all recover so you can help somebody else, and that becomes the life of the program. Those of us who are here to take positions to help other people recover, that is the life of what we have. If everybody didn't come here, this meeting wouldn't exist. So we're important, right? Find out what your assignment is when you're here, right? I didn't know what it was when I was new. I know what it is today because I've been doing this thing for a couple of seasons, right? I'm here to be a conduit. I'm here to be an example. I'm here to help people, right? So in step 9, it's like this. I had to meet with people, and at times I was afraid. I was fearful. You know, when I got women crying at me, talking about how emotionally I scarred them for the rest of their life, that's not fun, right? Like, that's not stuff I go brag to my mom about, right? But I sit with people and I give space to have these conversations. Because what's happening is, if I'm allowed to, based on this process, then I'm gonna amend the relationship, right? That's my desire, right? I don't go in there saying, "Hey, listen to me," and the book says, "No, we don't fault find in step 9." I give people volition to say what they have to say, you know. And honestly, overall, it's been good experiences. I mean, but I don't know, man. I had to go, houses I burglarized. I had to go knock on doors, man. After serving time behind this, like, yo, hi, check this out. I got something I want to share with you. I was afraid. In one house, I knew it was the house. Dude had put cameras and everything after all that happened. You know what I'm saying? And like legit, I had to pull over and pray. My heart was beating out of my shirt, man. I was like, God, it was so much trauma behind that, going back to that house. Because I didn't want to see the owner, right? And then all the stuff that happened when I got arrested, right? And I looked that man dead in the square in his face, man. I went to my 9th step. And I walked away, man, from that free. He was like, he didn't want to hear what I had to say, which is even crazier. He told me what even the house. I'm like, nah. I'm like, yo, this the house, bro. Like, nah. I'm like, yo, I went to jail from this house. Like, this the house. He's like, nah, wrong guy. Good looking out, I guess. I don't know. I was willing for whatever consequence because I believe in this today. Because the internal peace that I have is priceless. It's priceless. I go to sleep at night. My conscience is clear most of the time. Because I haven't wronged anybody. I don't owe people anything, right? And if I do, there's a step 9, 10, 11 I can use to make that better if possible. This thing is crazy good, right? Step 10 talks about, when resentment, right? Fear crop up, selfishness, dishonesty. The stuff I wrote it in the inventory, yeah, it comes back in the 10th step, Jermaine. Because some things don't die just because I'm sober. Some behaviors don't go away that easily. But when these things crop up, man, I have a toolkit I can use. It might not make sense to you. That's powerful. That when I look at you and know I'm finna lie to you, I know I'm about to tell you a lie, and I just stop and tell you the truth. That takes power. Knowing what the outcome is gonna be. Like when I'm at work, being held accountable at work, and I gotta say, yeah, I messed up. That takes power. That's why my life is so good today, man. Because I'm not bigger than being held accountable. I don't run in delusion as much as I used to. I'm free, man. So I got about maybe 2 or 3 minutes left. You didn't look, what is the clock, bro? You just nodded your head, yeah. He said, yeah, you 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So here's the deal, man. I sponsor people, right? I try not to. Because I don't like giving my time away, man. My time today is very precious. Where I invest my time is important, man, because I'm not young anymore, right? I'm on like the downside of life, right? I'm closer to the end than I am to the beginning, right? Ironically. But I sponsor not because I want to. I sponsor of necessity. A lot of my amends, I'm gonna be very, very, very honest and transparent. A lot of my amends, most folks said, keep doing what you're doing. And it was the 12 steps that got me to the 9th, obviously. And so as a way to honor those people who just told me keep doing what I'm doing, I stay here in this program, right? That takes power. That takes power. Because, like, I don't have much stuff going on in my life. My life is super boring. But as a result, you know what I mean? Like, today, like, I'm a parent. You know, I'm going to share this, man. I got about a minute. I just lost a brother recently, right? And here's the deal, man. I don't know, like, how to feel. I don't know how to process. I haven't even grieved yet. But there's so much stuff that has to get done, right? Like, it was crematory stuff I had to do. There was expenses. There was a service. I had moms in town. And everything is on my shoulders, right? Everything. I'm the baby boy. And everything is, like, on my shoulders. And I'm only able to be present and get things done because the process outlined in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Because I understand where my fear comes from. I understand I don't want to be responsible. I want us to just get in my bed and just stay there for like 2 or 3 weeks. But this right here has shot me back into the 4th dimension of my own existence. So I know what the assignments are today in my day-to-day affairs. Now, it might not make sense to you because you probably haven't had my experience, right? But now that I'm having it, I'm really grateful that I'm able to be supportive to my mother and to my brother, as much as he irritates me. Literally, I left him in Lancaster. I'm like, I gotta go speak. I gotta go home. Like, it's just too much. But I'm grateful, man. Because here's the deal, man. As a result, being recovered, what happens is I jump back into life, and I don't run. I don't run today. I want to, but I don't. So if you're new, listen. If you're old, if you're just like tired, or you're in between all of that, and if you as of yet have found no answer, we have one solution that might solve a lot of your problems, right? It's outlined in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. My name is Jermaine T. My sobriety date is August 12th, 2009. And that has been uninterrupted. And thank you so much, Alan, for having me come out. Thank you, guys.